Hello and welcome to part 6 of our London bus build by Revell. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and your comments are welcome. Okay, let's get back to where we were in the last part, where we finished off doing the gear shift and the steering column. Well, I've finished it. Look at this. Check that out. You see, that's not there. Okay, so there's our steering column, all painted up. I've done it the correct colors, a little bit of gray on the side where the gear shift is, and yeah, it's all glued in. Looks really good. There's our handbrake is there. The steering wheel will go there. I just haven't done that yet because I don't want it to get knocked off while I'm handling it. So, but the steering wheel will, if it behaves, sit there, because I know it does because I've done it before. It's one of those cases where, trust me, it works. Okay, there you go, a little fire extinguisher there. So that's all done, which completes step 23, 24 and 23, and moves on to step 24. But before we do that, I realized that we've forgotten about something. So I'll just put that away where it's safe. So where we are here, we've just finished all this with all the extra photo etch, of course. Now we need to go back to here, because this part here, all the floor of the bottom level of the bus, that's all painted up. And what I did was I took the masking tape off for where the wood decking is going to go. So the wood decking is going to go down there and on the back. And I kept that plastic clear for that, so it'll just go straight down on the plastic. It does have an adhesive backing, so once I put it on there and clamp it and hold it in place and make sure it's going to stick down, fingers crossed, and stay down flat, will be right. But again, that's something that I'm just holding off for the moment, because the other thing in this is all this needs to be put onto the chassis. Okay, so I'll bring that over and we'll have a look. So here it is here. All right, and that's there. Okay, now I have done a test fit and it does fit. I had a bit of a question well, a bit of a problem I noticed. So that's going to go on there. And the easiest way to line it up, now obviously this is a little bit bent, as you'll see, a bit of a warpage happening at each end, but that's okay. So that lines up with the floor at the back there, like that. Once that's there, the back's fine. So that'll glue down and I'll clamp it. I went actually and bought a few more clamps today. I've got about 8 now, 8 or 10. And what we're going to do is then go along and just press down here, and you'll see that that lines up well as also. But there's a gap. You see that gap? So the gap is along there, okay, because there's these little raised sections in there on the plastic that create that gap. And I was a bit concerned. It's on both sides, but if you look at the instructions, I know they're not the greatest of detail, but the instructions, where are those raised bits? They're not showing there. They're just showing a flat surface for this to go and sit on. So I was concerned that, well, is this going to mess up the fit of everything if this is up too high? But so what I did was, something I should do more often is I went ahead and I checked, just find it here, one of the side pieces. Let me grab it. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, here we go. So I grabbed one of these, and these are the pieces that go on the side of the bus here, that the outside of the bus sits up against. Okay, and these are part of where the seats attach. All right, so this will sit in there, and these parts that stick out here will go in here, and there's one in there and also at the top in there. So I test fitted it because I was concerned about that gap. I thought, is there going to be a gap under there? where these parts are sitting down. Okay, give you an idea. It's going to be like that. Okay, and this would go on there like that, pretty much like that. Okay, anyway, as it turns out, the bottom of this sits in the top of there, which means that that gap is supposed to be there. It's not going to have any effect. It's fine. So if anything, it's just an attachment point for the glue to go on. And of course, everywhere else underneath, because we need to clamp all of this down and attach that. And it fits fine. It's fitting fine. Okay, so yeah, I just did that just to jump ahead and make sure that other parts will fit, because there is a fit issue with this bus, where the upper deck on the outside, there's a gap and it affects the roof going on, and some of the display banners on the side, there's a gap. But I want to make sure everything from the bottom up is exactly where it should be and spot on, because that's the way to avoid having that problem later. Okay, enough of that talk. Now I will glue all this down. I'll do that a little bit later on. I'll put that aside for the moment. Once that's done, right, which will be, that we can cross that off then. Number 18 is done. Number 19 is gluing putting the wheels on. It's interesting that it does say glue. See, there's a glue icon for putting the wheels on. And I have checked, and there's nothing holding them on. They just slide on and off. So if you don't glue them on, yeah, they'll easily fall off. So remember that too. These need to be glued on. So the axles, you would call it, go glue inside into here. Right, so the wheels will not turn. Well, they will turn. They will turn. That's right, because the inside of the rims have that piece, right? But they won't come off. Okay, that's sorted. All right. Glad we worked that out. So that'll be done. Well, I'm not going to put the wheels on yet. I think I'll hold off putting the wheels on. We'll see how that goes. So now we're up to step 24. Okay. Now also jumping ahead 25, which is strange why that isn't before 24, because once that's done and that's done, pretty much that's it. You put your steering wheel and steering column on, you put the dash on, and we've done that as you saw. So I will cross that off when I'm completely happy with that's done. So we're doing this 24. So we've got this piece, we've got this piece, we got that one, and that one. All right, these are all the walls around the driver's compartment. Okay, and I've literally not even looked at this in detail yet. There are decals to go on these somewhere. Yeah, we've got a couple of decals to go on. There's some real nice detail piping in there that we'll be able to probably paint up and make them stand out. These are all going to be painted. The reference is B, which refers back to metal black. This one here is the roof. That's the only difference. The roof is this one. That's going to be in F, which is going to my reference is dark iron for the roof. Okay. Other than that, fairly simple. And the reason they're lettered is because that's when you go further down here and they'll refer back to those letters when you're actually fitting them. Maybe. I would have thought that that's where that'd be, because that's where they're all getting attached on. Not sure. Maybe there's some further reference to them later. All right. Very important to read the instructions. And look ahead. Always stay ahead as well. As far as I'm aware, with all of these pieces, there are no photo etch. So I've been through, let me just push that aside. I've been through our photo etch sheets here, and we'll be able to cross that off soon, cross that off soon. And then we go on to here. I don't think that's one of these panels. Pretty sure it's not. So I think we're pretty right to just go ahead and do these, because there's no photo etch going on the plastic there. There is windscreen wipers because one of these will be on the front, but I'm not sure if that will attach to them. Again, you've got to look ahead and go through all the pages because you'll find things that, oh, it was supposed to be photo etch go there, or I was supposed to take off something. I'm fairly sure we're pretty right. Okay, enough talk. When we come back, we will probably be looking at this all clamped and glued down. All right. Okay, back shortly, guys. Okay, as I promised, there it is, glued down, clamped down. I'll leave that for a good couple of hours and come back and should be fine. What I'm going to do then now is I'll move that aside. I'm going to put some weight on the top center here as well. Probably the best thing would be to use my bottles of paint, some of the big ones, and make sure that's stuck down too. Okay, back in a sec. Hey there, welcome back. So I'm just, while that's drying, glued together, the two halves of that floor, I'm started on these. So I've got these painted up. So the roof is done there, and that's all done in the, what color was that meant to be? Just checking my reference here. Metallic gray, is it? Dark iron, let me just check. Yes, it was dark iron, all right, which is the same as what the floor is. So that's come up really nice, as you can see that. Also done these, all done. Okay, and those were in the, what was that, black? Again, let me check. Right, metal black, all right. This one here, I've just masked it up because there's a little section on the top. This is the front window that needs to be grey. So I've done that in grey, so that's looking really good. Same grey as I used on the brake and accelerator, and a little bit on the gear shift as well. So that's done. I'm just about to take that tape off now. Now these, for some reason, the instructions tell you to paint the red, the actual bus red on this side, which is unusual because this side doesn't show. This side will be covered by another panel, which is a part of the front of the bus, which I could show you is here. See, in a bag because I like to protect these particular pieces, but you know what? See what I mean? This is sitting over the front of the bus. These are the parts that are red here. So these are on the inside of that. Sort of sits over the top. Yeah, but it does tell me to paint them red, so I'm going to do that anyway. So after this is dried, I will paint those, that side, and that side red, as the instructions say. Keep them happy. There are some decals. There's a couple of decals I need to put on. One of the decals is, and again, let me have a look. Right. It depends which version of the bus. So there's two versions of this bus, one with a lot of decals, one with not many, version 1 and 2. Move this out of the way for a moment. All right, so version 2 has the big museum and Jacob's decals on there, and it's a different bus. That's a 2757 RML bus. Then there's version 1, which is the 2273, which has a lot less. I'm doing the one with more, of course, 2757. But if you look at the instructions, it tells you here where we're at. The decal you want there is number 66 at the top on the inside one of these panels. If you go to 66 in your decals, you'll find that there is no 66. Actually, there is, but only if you're doing version 1. If you're not doing version 1 and you're doing version 2 like I am, you want to use decal 65. Doesn't tell you that, it just has one decal there, but it depends on the version. Okay, so that's probably a good idea to check because there are quite a few decals that are just for version 1 and just for version 2. So you want to double check which ones you're going to use the right ones. So the decal I will put on there will be 65, which is basically the number of that bus, like I mentioned before. There's also a decal up on the top of this one here somewhere. In here we've got number 4. That was fine. Number 4 was just a standard whatever version that goes on the roof. So to put those decals on, I got a little bit of water here ready on the side. But again, I've just painted these, so I might just do a little bit of clear coat when they're dry, just where I'm going to put the decals, just so the decal goes down nicely, and then decide what clear coat I'm going to do the inside. And I'm thinking probably on a satin. I'm going to have this as a satin. It's too glossy at the moment with just that paint that went on. So I'm thinking of a satin would be really nice in there. All right. Okay. So that's catch up, and I'll get on with a bit more, and we'll come back when I've got a bit more to talk about and show you. All right. Thanks. Back shortly. All right. Welcome back. So a few days have passed. I got busy with stuff that pulled me away from the modeling, but I have done a bit as well. So we'll play a bit of catch up here. So these are the panels that you saw before. They're done. There's the decals, the decal on the roof. There's the other decal on. And I ended up doing them in the satin clear. They look not so glossy, but more realistic, I think. I think they look good. So they're done. What I also started on, and we'll go over to the instructions, I'll just show you here. So that's done. Steering wheel's all done inside the driver's compartment. There's these parts all done. And then going down to here, we've got this all fitted, so I've marked that off. And here it is here, just as a reminder. There you go. Now, that's step 25. Step 26 is putting these on, which is all the outside of this, including the back wall, which has the seat in it, in the plastic bag, so I'm trying to keep the glass dust-free. So that all needs to be all glued on together. So that's what I'm going to do next. But I do want to show you what I have been doing in the background is step 27, and painting up this piece. This piece, if you picture this, sits here against the piece that goes on there, and it's on the outside, and it's facing the lower half of it will be the engine bay. Okay, now if we go over, oh, I made a little mistake. There's a hole you got to drill in there if you're doing the one with the Scania engine, which I drilled. I shouldn't have, because I'm doing the Leyland engine, but anyway, not to worry. Over the page with that piece is this. So this is referring back to step 27, where we need to paint this. And it needs to be painted, this bottom part here, in A, which is aluminium, and the bus red on the top. And then there's this bit of piping that goes around on the side there, okay? And I've done it. So here we go. There it is. Okay, that way so we can see the color. That's the first time I've actually sprayed the red, and it's come up really nice. The aluminium went on, the pipe's gone on, and then I clear coated it in a gloss clear, in the Outlaw Paints gloss clear, and I'm really happy it's come up really nice. So that sits there. So when the bonnet is closed, that will be under the bonnet, okay, and the bonnet will raise up here. Now there's a piece of glass that needs to go in there. I haven't done that yet, but I have got it here. There it is in there. Again, in a plastic bag, keep it clean. There's one where the angle of the glass is there, and you can see it on the instructions there. Okay, that needs to be painted L, which is the red. But when I looked at some of the references on the buses themselves, I see that more as silver, aluminium color. So that's what I did. I didn't go for the red. So what I did was I used one of my silver pens here and just marked it down, and no problem at all. Also with the inside surround in here, that's got to be metal black in there, which I think should be representing rubber for around the window seal, but I did it in the black anyway. And And what I did was I used my pens. I've got a black one in here somewhere, my selection here. So I used, I think that was it there, the Posca. So I did that in there, black. So it's come up really well. The glass going in, I will, but I've just clear coated this about half hour or so ago, so I want to let that all dry properly before I attempt putting the glass in. Okay, so that's that done. Now, just before when I was mentioning the decals here, we had a decal to go up on here, and there's a decal on the roof, which I've already done. Those parts are done in there. I was wondering what the 89 and 90 means. And there's a few places throughout the instructions that I've seen this 89/90. There is no step 89/90 that I could find right at the end of the build. There it is again, 89/90. And there's nothing in the symbols for the key to explain what that 89/90 means. There's nothing here. But what I found out is if you go right to the back of the manual, where you're up to the final decals, right up here. Okay, so here we have step 89, version 1 of the bus, and that one, step 90, version 2 of the bus. So basically that's telling you 89 or 90. What you've got to do is check which decal is in the section on the sheet, the version of the bus you're doing. All right. So to give you a quick example, here's, I'll grab our decal sheet, just move that in there for a second. Okay, so version 1 is, I'll get the glare off, sorry, here we go. Version 1, version 2. There are your decals for version 1, there's your version 2. So when it says decal 71, and it might say 89, right? Is that right? Yes, 89 or 90, that refers to version 1 or version 2. Would be much easier if they just wrote version 1, version 2. It just seems a lot of extra confusion. I'm doing version 2, and that'll be that decal there. Okay, so that's how. You have to go back to the decal location spots in the instructions, and then that refers to which version you're doing. Got that? I got that. It took a while, but I got that. So now you guys won't have to worry about it. All right. So, right. So the next step now will be glue the four sides on here, and that will bring us to step 26 done. Then I can turn the page and we can attach on step 29 this piece onto there, which is the piece I just showed you that I've painted and clear coated. All right, that will go onto the side of the cabin where the driver is, and then we'll move down where we're starting to work on the back panel of the engine bay to the bus area. All right, okay, enough talk. I'll get this sorted out, and we'll come back and have a look at it. If there's any issues, I'll let you know. We'll be back in a sec. Okay, welcome back. I'm just in the process of fitting the four sides on. I've clamped them either way here just to make sure that they're going to sit there properly and let the glue dry. Another good idea is just to make sure everything is nice and square is the roof part. Just pop that in without gluing it, just so everything's in the right position, and it is. There we go. So I know the roof will go on fine. Okay, so I'll leave that for about half an hour. I just use Revell contactor, little bits in there, and it should be good. So there we go. In the meantime, I might as well set that aside, bring this back out. It's dry now. Okay, this will basically go on this side here, but we need to put the glass in. So I'll show you what I do for putting the glass in. I think I've shown you before using my MIG ammo glue, canopy glue, and I've got already made up here. It's all watered down. I added a little bit extra water because it does tend to get a little bit thicker, and that's ready to apply. And I'll show you how I do that. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so here we go with our side piece. Here's our bit of glass that we need to use. Now we'll just do a test fit, make sure it's going to fit properly. It should just sit in there like it does. There we go. That's going to fit fine. Let's get better. So what I want to do now is just put that back out. Trying not to put my fingerprints all over the thing. And what I'll do now is I'll use my little micro brush. These are the Icky Sticky micro brushes, 1.2 mil. Dip it in here. Just put a light little layer all the way around. Pop our glass back in and we're done. All right, so let me just do that. Just run that down there like that. Very, very tiny amount. You don't need much of this at all. There it is there. There. And this stuff also dries completely clear as well, which is great. Along there too. That's enough. Don't have to get carried away. All right, glass. There you go. And it worked on camera too. How about that? Make sure that's it. Perfect. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pop that in there like that. Leave the bag open and let that dry. And just double check to make sure that is in. Sit down. Yep. Perfect. All right. Just keeping the dust off. That's my problem here. Is the whole place here is carpeted and there's dust everywhere, so I've got to be careful. So there we go. I'll put that aside for this. I'll give that probably about half an hour, same as the driver's compartment that's drying, and should be done about the same time. Then we'll come back and have a look at them. Okay, I'm back again in a sec. Okay, an hour or so has passed and the glass is glued in, looking nice. That's done, and these are pretty much right to come off now, these clamps. We'll just release them. Two. Come on. There we go. It's off. Now the top piece here, which is just sitting there just to make sure everything is square, it's good. There we go. The driver's compartment. Now the outside of this isn't sprayed because we don't need to, because there's panels going up against that, which is actually that one there. So if I was to put that, pretty much that's going to go sit right on there like that. Okay, good. Now I'm just looking at the way that's fitting there. Make sure it's in position correctly, like that. And yeah, no, that's good. There was no need to do the other side of that. You can't see anything, so it's clear. So what I'll do is I'll attach that. I'll glue that on. But before I do that, I might just glue the roof in. All right, so I'll glue that on, but to make sure that I will also clamp those as well to make sure those are all in tight. Although it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good, but you know, just a little A little extra should be fine. All right, fantastic. Let me do that and put that on, and I'll come back and we'll have a look. Okay, welcome back. So there you go. Driver's compartment is done. No problems. Everything went on fine. Looking quite good. I'm just going to let that dry properly. I've only just glued it, so give it time to set. Yeah, progress. All right, so we're going to finish it up here. And in the next video, we'll be working on the back panel that sits back behind it here. So you imagine this is where the engine bay, the engine's sitting in here, and there'll be a back panel here, and we'll be working on that, as well as I think the piece in the back there as well. So there's that part there, which is pretty much sits in there like that. And those are the hinges for the bonnet. I explained about the photo etch on the bonnet, how I'm going to leave this as is, just go by the manual and just use the kit parts for all of that. All right, so thanks guys, thanks for watching everybody. Don't forget to join my Facebook page, link will be down in the description. Don't forget every week we have our live stream and hangout, so it's good to catch up with a few new people that are joining in and who've got this model and going to start building it, and it's really good. We had quite a lot on, get quite a lot in each week. The live chat. I've got a few special guests coming up too, so keep an eye out for that. All right, don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and your comments are welcome below. And I'll see you all in the next part, which will be part 7. Part 7 we'll be up to. All right, cheers all. Bye for now.